So I got a quick story time. So when I first bought my home, my neighbor bought her home as well, and we closed on the same day. So it was a new construction development. We moved in here on the same day. So I'm like, okay, girl, and whatever. And yes, she was, as this paper towel. But anyway, I don't discriminate. So I was like, hey, girl, thought we was gonna be cool, We're just talking about our closing and stuff like that. So fast forward, a couple months go by, and I get a knock at my door. Me and my kids are watching TV downstairs, and I get a knock at the door, and it's the sheriff. And I'm like, it's 9 o'clock at night. What is the sheriff doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of scared. So I'm asking for all his credentials before I enter the door. He said, yeah, I got a disturbance call. I said, disturbance call? I was like, you sure it was my address? And he was like, yeah. I was like, wow. I was like, well, nothing's going on here. My children and I were just watching a movie. It's 9 o'clock at night. We're watching a movie. Nothing's going on. He was like, yeah, I didn't hear anything when I walked up. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Could have been an accident. Could have been a mistake, right? So he leaves. So a couple weeks go by, and I get another knock at the door, and it's the sheriff again. And I was like, I said, it's another disturbance call? I don't understand. Like, I truly don't understand what's happening. And he's like, well, I can't tell you who it is, but one of your neighbors. And he kind of looked in the direction of, my adjacent neighbor. And he says, they just keep calling about a disturbance claim. And I was like, what? So I'm like, okay, I don't really know what's going on, but I'll have a conversation with her. So after he leaves, at this point, I'm baffled because you calling the cops on me for what exactly? So I finally catch her. And when I caught her, I said, hey, can I talk to you? I was like, you called the cops on me for a disturbance claim? I don't understand what's going on. And she was like, oh, I can hear your TV. You could hear my TV. And you couldn't just come over and be neighborly and knock on the door and say, hey, your TV's too loud. Now, I said, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just come and knock on the door and just tell me that? She was like, oh, well, I didn't know that it was you that was home. I thought it was just the kids that were home. So you were going to call the cops on my kids for something that you could have waited for their parent to get home. She's like, well, I didn't see your car in the driveway. Bitch, I have a garage. It's in the garage. It's in the garage. And so I was like, well, you mind if I come in and hear what it is that you're hearing? So she allowed me to come in her home, and I asked my teenager to go and cut up our TV so I can hear what she was hearing. Y'all. Okay. Now, I was like, okay, noted. So eventually I had to mount my TV on another wall. So pissed. But y'all, when I tell you the sound was very subtle, and it was definitely something you can come knock on the door and be like, hey, can you cut it down just a little bit, just a notch, right? Okay, so fast forward, not her and her daughter be over here arguing up a storm. Now, I'd be wrong if I called the police.